the hilltop in Big D.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on a TCU head coach.
Come on.
SMU, the freaking Pony Express, man.
SMU, they better be in the dang playoffs.
You are listening to the Mustang Move podcast. On. Yes, you are.
I'm so excited for today.
This is gonna be a lot of fun to talk about.
I'm really
It's gonna
excited
get
for this
I know Walker
conversation.
is, but I'm ready to fight Walker. I can just feel it. There's going to be some tension.
Like when y'all were texting about everything you hate about the playoffs, I was like, this is going to be funny.
Yeah, I can feel it.
So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about our perfect scenarios for the CFP, and so laying out our case for what is best, and what we think would work out well.
And this is kind of, in a way, separate from us being SMU fans. This is more us.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah,
college
just general
football.
college football.
Yeah.
What is best for college football?
And I started out before I wrote down what my cases were, what I thought would be best. I started out with a list of things that I think matter about college football, and some things that don't matter. And so, you mind if I just read my list off, and then we can
start us off.
We can add stuff to that. So, what matters about college football? I think rivalries really matter. And so, I'm different than Sonny Dykes in that way. I think rivalries matter. I think the regular season matters. To a point. I guess, do you want a football playoff at all, or do you just want the regular season? That's kind of, anyway, different conversation. Regionality matters to me. I think that plays into the rivalry aspect. I love bowl games. I think bowl games matter. It's distinctly college football. The pageantry, the traditions there really matter. I hate playing teams twice. I think that's really dumb. I think wins in September should matter just as much as wins in November or December.
100%. They should, at least for the record stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if an 11-1 team is an 11-1 team. Now, who they beat, we can look at that. Anyway, I think wins matter. It should, whatever system we come up with should incentivize winning football games. We should never have anyone tanking or
I don't care at this point.
Or
This game doesn't matter.
Exactly. And then I also think that the national championship needs to be in January, early January, like January 1st or 8th or something like that.
I'm interested to hear how you're going to make that possible.
No bye weeks.
I don't think it needs to be that early, but I think the 15th or the third weekend in January is the limit for me.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about this a little bit more.
All right, so let's see what you got.
A couple things that don't matter to me.
Okay, yeah.
Current conferences, conference championship games actually don't matter to me that much. I'll be honest with you.
Dang.
They're not that important to me. TV deals, couldn't care less about that. I care about, TV channels, like what team's or what channel is my team playing on, but I don't care about TV deals. And money, I don't think, the great thing about college football is there used to be an illusion that money didn't matter.
We liked that illusion.
And I really liked that illusion. And now it's very money focused. And so I would like to take that out of, whatever considerations we're doing. Okay. And I'll tell you, I weighed several things. I think in an ideal world, maybe 8 is perfect. I don't think that's realistic. I think 12 is okay. I could see 16 being okay. But
Sitting on a lot of fences here.
I really like the idea of a 64-team playoff.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
64 teams.
No.
You're getting me excited, Jay.
Okay, but I feel like that goes against
getting
everything you
excited,
just
Jay.
said, Jay. I feel like that goes against everything you just
Okay,
said.
let's talk about that.
I do agree with.
Let's talk about that.
Yes, that's.
What matters the most? I'm talking about rivalries, regular season, regionality, bowl games, home games, not playing teams twice, wins, and early January national championship. Okay, in a 64-team playoff, there are no buys. I also think buys are stupid. I think we've proven that so far with the 12th team. Everyone except for Indiana has lost after coming off a bye. Anyway, I think bye games or
Bye weeks.
bye weeks are stupid in the playoffs. So 64 teams, 6 games to win the national championship. In this reality, we would shorten the regular season to 11 games. Now, I hear what you're saying, Jay. You just said the regular season really matters. Yes, but playing Cal Poly or Missouri State or Charleston Southern or the Citadel, sorry if you're fans of those schools, don't matter. We got to take those games away. So take away that one of those games. You still get one of them, and then you play, an important non-conference game and then 9 conference games. That's how it would work. 11 games, and then we skip conference championship games. The first round would be on campus, and then so now you've got your allotment of 12 like games that could be like home or away, and then round of 32 on would all be bowl games. So like the Frisco Bowl would be a round of 32 game.
You'd have to drop some bowls.
We'd have to drop. There was currently 35.
No,
Yeah,
you'd have to add
34,
some
35.
bowls.
No, there's more than 32 bowl games every year.
Or no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because there's 16, and I think it works out to 39 games. There's currently 41.
Okay.
So we'd have to drop
41
Yeah.
bowl games.
Yeah, 41.
To me, those aren't even bowl games anymore, though, because they're part of a tournament structure. And also, if you want those to be bowl games, to me, tie into regionality. And the way you just described it takes bowl games away from regionality.
Does
that make sense?
The
I see
thing
what you're
too,
saying.
the highest seed would get to if Alabama is the number 1 overall seed, okay, they're gonna pick the Sugar Bowl or they're gonna pick the.
What if teams could draft what bowl they want
Yep.
in each round?
That's one of the things I wrote down is the highest remaining seed gets to pick the bowl game that they go to,
I like that.
and so
That's cool.
in that scenario, like the 8-9 matchup,
George
or whatever,
hates it.
Yonnic, I'm feeling betrayed by them. Are you feeling betrayed?
I'm not. I'm really uncomfortable with what's being said.
But
okay.
the 8-9 matchup or whatever would be really important if you're the 8 seed, because then you get to pick, right? Because if Miami's playing Oregon, then they're going to pick a game in Florida instead of the Northwest.
Are you keeping the protected weekend of the Army Navy game?
Oh,
I hear
No.
they're looking to move up a week, anyways. Now, that's just a headline I saw recently.
yeah, we could. They're in the same conference. We could put them. I
know
didn't
you
think
love
about
that game.
I do love that game. Man, that's a good question. Okay, what I was gonna say is we just run straight through December, and
Play over Christmas.
exactly. Exactly. We play over Christmas time and all that kind of stuff. Like week 1 of the playoffs, of the 64 team playoffs, this year would be December 5th. The conference championship weekend would be
The
the
first
first
round.
weekend of the playoffs. And think about it, almost half of the teams in college football would make this tournament, right? If your team is good, you're going to make the tournament.
I would not
There's a
consider
lot-
half
there's a lot
the teams
less
in
to
college
argue.
football to be good. But
Well,
Yeah,
neither here
that's-
nor
But there's a
there.
lot less to argue about. Lot fewer people complain.
No, there'll still be lots to argue about.
Yeah.
Like the amount of
seeding will
arguments
matter, yeah.
about who. Yes, that's also really important. Is I think seeding matters so much more in a 64 team playoff than a 12 team playoff.
Yep. I agree.
Because the 1 or the 2 seed, you're gonna play a good team.
But the regular season is not that important. All you need to do is get 6 wins
No.
in the regular season to make the playoffs.
Actually,
The
you don't
regular
even need to do
season's
that because
important.
6 wins would take you to 41 games. You could win 5. You could
Yeah,
be
you could-
5-7.
You could have
We're
5
talking
and
6
7
wins.
Kentucky in the
Okay.
playoffs every year.
Yes, but 5 and 7 Kentucky also plays Alabama in the regular season. Like that's a game that we'd potentially miss out on if we took one away from the regular season. That's okay. Like I don't mind them playing in that context.
But they're not going to care if they win.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Why not
a
just
team
play-
like that?
I'm sorry, Jay. I cannot believe you said that regular season and bowl games are important, and then said you want a 64 team playoff. I cannot even wrap my
This
head
is-
around that.
Okay, why are bowl games? Let's talk about this. Why are bowl games not important right now?
Because there's less money in them.
Because
There's less.
because
no
there's
one
money,
is
because
incentivized.
there's
it's
no
because
purpose. People don't
because
care.
the playoffs have supplanted them
No.
in terms of what people are going for. No, that is 100%.
No, I disagree.
People don't care about the Bulls because everyone's trying to fight for playoff because playoff is what matters. Regular season doesn't matter to anybody. It's just get to the playoffs.
When do you think bowls started to die? I think they started to die in like the
When we went from 4
mid-teens.
to 12.
I disagree.
I completely agree that it's 4 to 12.
No, they were starting to die before the 4 to 12 switch. I think people were opting out of bowl games left and right if they had any talent.
Actually, the death of bowl games came from NIL, and honestly,
Actually, yeah. There is some level of that.
But-
the NIL did.
But
did
people don't
affect it.
care
4 to
about
12
those
finished
games.
the job.
How do you get people to care about that game?
You make it worth
You
I
ma-
think-
no,
Make it
no,
worse
you
somehow.
tie it so that if you're getting an NIL check, you have to play it. If you are getting
No.
any kind of NIL, you
That's-
have to play in all
I
your
think
games.
We're
I think
getting
that
to the
people should
tiny
care
rules
about
like
it
that.
because it's college football. But
Well, I agree.
I'll
but
get to that on my.
There are ways to make the players actually follow through on their commitment to a school. If you
But-
commit to a school, you should be playing for that school.
But let's go back to the original question here. I think George accused me, I think falsely, of not caring about bowl games in my in my projection here. But 64 teams, we've got 30 around to 32, all playing in bowls. 39 individual bowl games in this, and every single one of them has huge impact on the season.
I don't buy that either
I have a question.
How does it
Wait,
not-
no, real quick. Let me ask a
because
quick question.
none of the, even though there's 64 teams, there's, I'll be generous and say 10 teams that could win it all. So that means you've got 54 teams that are,
Just there to be beat on.
yeah, and at that point you might as well just do regular bowl games.
Okay, and now let me
Mm-hmm.
let me ask a question. Do you guys like March Madness?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are 64 teams. How would you feel if March Madness had 150 teams?
I already hate 76.
We cannot we cannot pretend that college football is the same as college basketball.
Yeah.
No.
We simply
Hang on.
cannot.
No. Hang on. Just follow me on my train of thought here. How would you
Okay.
guys feel if there's 150 teams in the basketball tournament?
I think
I
we
wouldn't
would
care
see-
until
I
I got
wouldn't
down to
care.
64.
Yeah,
we wouldn't
exactly.
we wouldn't care until we got there. Exactly. So the game so all of that expansion would just make it that much more meaningless. And there are over 300 basketball D1 teams, and that would be the equivalent of bringing in 64 football teams. Half of D1
I disagree.
should not be playing in a tournament for the title.
I disagree. I think like
I don't think it's equivocal.
Yeah.
Equivocal,
The-
whatever
like
the word
the-
is.
I'm just saying that there's a clear correlation between the dilution of the product. When you have everyone in it, it dilutes the product, and we can all agree that if you added 100 more teams to basketball, it would be diluted.
I think you're focusing on the wrong part of this. Like you're thinking about how the top 10 teams will fare in the first 2 rounds. They will probably do very well in the first 2 rounds. But the teams from 20 to 40, like all those games will be electric.
Yeah.
In like the top
Why do you think that?
Just the middle of the pack.
because they're the middle of the pack. Like those are the teams in competitive games, the
In basketball,
32 versus the 33
to
seed or
follow
whatever.
on the train of thought of they're not the same sports, they are not the same sports because the 40th team and the 20th team in football are just so wildly different in terms of quality.
Yeah,
that
but
it-
I mean, it's
that
not.
they will
we're
not be
SMU fans.
competitive.
We got beat by
won't
Cal.
It won't necessarily be like the 1 seed against the 64 seed because you would split it into groups of 16, right? And then
Well, you essentially that's what
kind of like what they do for March Madness.
I don't.
Almost like
I don't
we're
know how
making
I would
March
split it up. I think
Madness
a 1 to 64
December
is fine.
Madness.
Yeah, because I think when it comes to the highest remaining seed picks where they get to play, I think it's easiest if we just number them 1 to 64.
Yeah, I see
mean,
what you're saying.
You're still going to be playing the same teams, though. That doesn't really matter.
So based on strength of record, the 61st through 64th best teams this season: San Diego State, UNLV, Rutgers, and Fresno State.
like
That's who you want in the playoffs?
it is
No,
the
I-
idea of like Georgia or whoever the number 1 seed is playing against Ohio playing against like
Ohio Bobcats.
Rutgers.
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah, sorry.
the Ohio Bobcats would be in there.
Playing against
Yeah, they would. They'd be 58th.
Nobody wants to see
like
that.
no one wants to watch
Nobody.
that. Yeah.
Like you really want
but we get that
2025
anyway.
Auburn in the playoffs?
you're true. You're
we get
right
that anyway.
You're right
We're
that we get that
removing
anyway.
one of those games. You have to give up playing the Citadel, but maybe you play the Citadel in the first round of the playoffs.
But
So it's a wash.
Fresno
basically.
State is just the Citadel to Georgia, though.
Okay.
Okay,
exactly.
here,
Exactly. That's what I'm
okay.
saying. You
I
give
wanna-
up
Why
one
even
of those
do
games.
it then?
for the sake of
I
time.
agree with taking out the Citadels in our regular season, but why would we just turn around
We
and
love
add
you,
it right back
Citadel.
Okay.
into the playoffs?
Because we
I'm
get good games in the middle. The
I'm
middle
gonna
is
pause
where
it.
the meat
Let's
is.
hey, let's pause. I think I want to hear what some other people think about how they would want to set it up because we could keep arguing about this for the next hour.
Okay,
So
I just need to say one more thing.
you know,
No.
Next.
I have to say this. The BCS would decide.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
selection
yeah.
committee, the BCS. The
I'm-
computer algorithm would
I'm
decide.
okay with the BCS.
All right.
That's
Wait, hold on. Sorry. I need to add one thing that I hate about this.
Just one.
Yes.
Okay.
This is one thing we haven't talked about yet. I think that the worst part about this, I think there's many horrible things. The worst part to me about this is that you have 64 teams and you only have one round on campus. Like that to me, that's just ridiculous.
It's because I care about video games.
I prefer 16 teams as the max. I'd rather say 12 personally, but for my 16 team playoff, there's 2 rounds on campus. So the fact that you have 64 and 1 round on campus to me is just an atrocity. So, anyways, I just wanted to add that.
All right. Well, Ben, do you want to like?
Yeah, I
there you
mean, 16 is going to happen. There's really no point in me saying I hope.
we're asking what the ideal is. What's your ideal?
I mean, and I think George kind of said it earlier. I think 6 to 8, maybe 4 to 6 max can actually win it. I enjoyed the 12 team playoff. So I would prefer to keep it at 12. I like conference championships. I understand that it can hurt or help some, but I think it's part of the history of college football that I really enjoy. And I think that the first 2 rounds should be on campus because,
Wow.
I think the campus environment is so much better. To me, the bowls, I mean, yeah, I guess I get it. It's all about the money. And I also think what Jay was saying about the money part, just backtracking on this, like the commercial thing for the games is just ridiculous at this point, like how long games are because of the commercials. It's been very commercialized. I also I know this is kind of off track, but I know Florida State did this. I know Oklahoma's doing it. There's lots of schools that are doing stadium renovations and they're adding a lot more box seats like in the bottom areas so they can get more big money seats. And so again, like the everyday average fan who loves college football is being pushed out in favor of big money. And so the sport is just becoming more about the money and not about the fans, which is what it should be about. And so I don't know. I kind of hate what it's becoming, but I think going to 24 is all about the money. And so that's what I hate about it. I mean, I hate 24. So 64 to me is crazy. And you cannot say that you value the regular season and then have a 64 team playoff. Like it's just not possible. Don't respond. We already know what you think.
I disagree, but
No.
I want to bring up one point that you said does the 64th team deserve to make the playoff? If you're saying, I mean, I think that's irrelevant because let's look at like the 10 and 11 seeds, right? Missouri or South Florida, all these teams that played in the tournament this year. I guess South Florida was probably a conference champion, but like North Carolina or Texas A&M or I don't know, Miami of Ohio. Like, did they deserve to be in? Did they have a shot at winning the national championship? No,
Again,
but
you
they
cannot pretend that college football and college basketball are
no.
the same.
But
Yeah.
no. Listen to this point, right? Did they deserve to be in? Yes. Did they have a shot at winning the national championship? No.
But we've seen
Yeah, so-
11
but it
11
still makes
seeds
good
make
basketball.
we've seen 11
It still makes
seeds
good
make the
product.
Final Four.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like
One football
that would
game does
never
not
that
equal
would
one
never
basketball
happen
game.
in football.
I totally agree.
Never happen in football.
But okay, what are we losing out though on by doing 64 teams?
Your coaches are going to start sitting.
There will
your
be so many
starters
opt-outs
No, they-
in the first
halfway
2
through the
rounds.
season
No,
because
they
once you
wouldn't.
get to 5 games. No, think about this. So why was A&M not good? Because they lost their running backs to massive injuries 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago, they were a contender. They had the leading rushers. South Carolina, it looked like a dirty play actually, but they went for his knees. They tore Le'Veon Moss's ACL. He was out for the season. The team kind of started tanking because they had no run game. So what you do after you get to 5 wins for a 64 team playoff, you start sitting those guys
No.
and you just get in
F-
because you're going to beat some teams.
Let's
so you just
keep
don't
going.
Really care.
Let's keep going with this, and I'll show you the reason why they should care about those games that they're playing in after they get to 5 wins. All right, in the first round of the playoffs, they may still get a home game. Okay, that's great. But in the second round of the playoffs, now it's only the top 16 teams get to pick where they want to go play, and that can play
It
a
doesn't
big
matter
difference.
that
and
much.
And the seeding does. I mean, okay, if Ohio State tries all season and A&M doesn't try for half the season, they end up playing in the second round. Like that's a huge.
I get
difference.
that, but it's not worth the risk of losing
But
players.
shouldn't they just play in a bowl game then?
They are playing in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why do the first round? Why do anything else?
Why do the?
I'm
first-
going.
All right,
so
let's-
I'm going to
let's
step
just-
in with
I wanna-
my.
I just
you
want
want
to
a
keep. Yeah.
32
Wait, hold
team?
on,
Yeah,
hold on.
we-
I didn't get to finish.
Oh,
Oh, what's yours?
Let me just add one more thing. Again, I don't have.
And what is your?
I don't have a ton to add.
What is also your perfect playoff? Just on top of it.
Okay, I like 12. I think I'll just say I'm fine. My perfect playoff. I'll just say let's go with 16, and I don't mind. I like the idea. I heard someone talking about this, doing it similar to NFL, where the number 1 seed gets a bye, and then the other ones play it out, and however the structure is.
That'd be 14 in the NFL.
16 wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
There would be no
14.
buys.
Yeah, 14. Well, in 16, I don't mind no buys. So 16, I think, is the max for me. I don't really know what the perfect solution is, but I would not go higher than 16. I don't like the idea of 24 because 20 through 25 cannot win a national championship. I mean, you could say 10 to 15 or maybe 11 to 15 couldn't either, but I don't know. And like I said, first 2 rounds are on campus because I think that makes a difference, and I think that's what makes college football great is the environment. The NFL, I mean, some teams have good environments, but it doesn't compare to college football, and I think keeping what's best about college football is the games on campus and the environments that they have is really important. So
2024 SMU could not have won the national championship, but I still think we deserve to be in the playoffs. So I don't think ability to win national championship.
That's a good argument. Yeah.
Ability to win national championship shouldn't play into how we structure.
Yeah, I agree with Jay there.
Because every year then it would need to be a different size if that's how we want to judge it.
I would like to go next.
Yeah, you got it.
So the things that are important to me in college football, I'd say I think the regular season is important. I think rivalries are important. I think regionality is important. And I think bowl games are important. Conference championship games, I could honestly go either way. Like I like them, but if big changes do need to be made, I could give them up, especially if my perfect. So for all the things that are important to me are pretty much important to Jay. I think the perfect playoff is 8 teams. I think you have, first of all, your 8 teams is 7 games. That's the 6 New Year's 6 games and the national championship game, which is kind of how they do the final 8 now. Bowl games stay the same. 6 wins, you get a bowl game. As far as which 8 teams get in, I like an automatic qualifier for the champion of the Power 4 conferences, whether that's through a conference championship game or through regular season record and tiebreakers. I think Group of 5 gets 1 auto bid, and then I think there are 3 at-large bids. I think the seeding is entirely up to the committee. You could break an at-large bid first seed if you wanted.
You want a committee?
Yes. The committee would decide the at-large bids, and they would decide the seeding. Or maybe there's another way to determine at-large bids, but I do like committee for seeding. That is my perfect playoff.
I think 8 could be good as well.
Goes from 64 to 8.
Dog, what are we doing?
Okay.
Here?
No. I think you're right. Like those points are good. I just like.
It's just
I
not
think
enough.
it preserves players. I think it prevents opt-outs.
But you said you care about bowl games, but I don't understand. Like,
How does it protect bowl
that
games?
protect
Why?
bowl games?
Because then the teams that don't make the playoffs just go to bowl games, like they've always done.
We agree that bowl games suck right now.
You think bowl games suck. I do not think bowl games suck.
Okay.
I think bowl
I like
games.
good college football.
I think one of the worst mentality shifts that's happened in college football over the last 10 years is that if you're not in the playoffs, if you're not the very best, if you're not this, you're not that, you had a bad season. And the money that's been funneled into this sport has just exacerbated that. But in my mind, like if you go 9-3 and you win a bowl game, finish 10-3, that's an excellent season.
I like
bowl game
Arizona
is meant
bowl
to celebrate the season you had. Bowl games are important because they are college football games. They do not need a reason to be important other than that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like that is true for me. I like watching bowl games, but it is obviously not true because players are not incentivized properly to play in them.
Well, then
So it's like it's
that's
not
a separate
I
issue,
think-
though. I
yeah,
think
that's a
there are
separate
ways
issue.
we can.
It's
No.
very easy to tie
we need to-
What are
we
those
NIL to it.
but
You
like
have to play your team's games
I feel like
if you get paid.
George is like stuck in the theory and the heart.
I'm not stuck in the
heart
theory.
behind
We've
it.
literally done this for decades, and now for some reason we're not doing it.
Well, but the environment has changed
It's changed.
completely.
Yep.
And the way football runs
Why?
needs to change with the environment.
What's
I
different
mean,
about the environment that makes this necessary?
then this is an
NIL.
issue of the question. To me, that's my perfect playoff is 8 teams. Now, if we're going a little more realistic, I do not care about anything above 16. Like, I'm not even sure I'd even watch those games. The 17 versus 24 first round game. Like, I just don't care. It's
I really think that would be a good game. Like it would be interesting to watch 17 versus 24 or whatever the match.
yeah, that'd be a good bowl game.
Exactly. That's what it
And
is.
it
It's
would
almost
be.
like that was
And
a
then
bowl
there's
game,
something at
like
stake for the
SMU
win.
Arizona.
Yeah,
playing-
that's true. That literally
Arizona was
basically
number
the bowl game.
17. But why would anyway? I guess it's my turn.
We had something perfect and then we ruined it.
Wait, hold on.
I agree that the playoffs
When-
can be expanded.
When was it
beyond,
perfect?
Basically, before the college football playoff, I agree that the playoff.
You thought the BCS
Okay, I think
was
the
perfect?
bowl. I think the bowl system we had was perfect. I think the way people viewed college football, the way people understood college football, was perfect. And then all the money got injected in, and these networks took over. And over time, they changed the way we see college football, and I think we see it in a worse way now. And I want to go back to the way we had it.
And let me be clear. Like, okay, I like the idea of 64 teams, but like I care about those other things I was talking about, right? Like home games, regionality, bowl games, all those things. And I could see a world where having no national championship playoff or national championship game, going back to the way it was in the 80s, and like just having people vote or having a computer algorithm decide who's the national championship, and like every game matters equally because there's ultimately no like one champion.
I agree. I would rather have a 0-team playoff than a 24-team playoff.
I that would also work to achieve my goals.
0
I just
or
think-
64.
0 or
You heard it
64,
here
apparently.
first.
I just think the most plausible to achieve my goals.
No,
Maybe
yeah,
a little
I see where you're coming
out
from.
there, but 64.
Yeah. All right, Yonnic, let's hear it.
All right. The actual perfect college football playoff format is, first of all, I'm going to actually preface this by saying what we're all arguing about is whether it is all about what's best, what makes the college football playoff the best, basically. We're not asking like what makes college football the best. We're asking what makes
No,
No,
the college football
think it's-
playoff.
I think this conversation is
all
the
about-
bigger conversation is like literally the entire product.
How
of
do we
college
save
football.
college football?
Yeah.
Why are we
I don't
saying
think it needs saving.
college football was peak
needs-
in the
it
early
absolutely needs
2000s
saving, but-
to mid 2000s, even up probably until, honestly, when Auburn won the title in, was it 2013, all the way from 2000 till then, which my teams were awful. Like the teams that I cheered for were awful during that period. But that's when college football was, I think, widely agreed on peak. And so, all that being said, there's an indication that maybe this expansion is not the best thing. I said this in one of our very first videos that if we expand beyond 4 teams, when we were talking about going to 8 teams, we ended up landing at 12. They are going to expand again. Here we are. I was absolutely right, and I knew it was going to happen, and we are going to continue to dilute it. So we're going to go to 24, and honestly, that we may actually go beyond 24, but we will at least go to 24. And that is not because it's a good thing, but that is because the college football playoff, those games generate high revenues, and that is what the TV networks need to justify their existence to their shareholders. So the best thing for college football would be for us to go back to regional conferences where teams are playing other teams in their region, where fans can actually go to the games.
I think we all agree on that for sure.
And this is going to lead into my playoff format. The best thing is for teams to play the teams in their region. It brings back all the old rivalries, which is what we all agree are very important.
Yep.
So you make your regular season a regular season filled with your rivalries of the teams that you actually care about playing. So your regular season is now taken care of, and it's an actual exciting season where every game matters. Because when SMU is playing TCU, Baylor, A&M, Texas, and Texas Tech, and like these are all the teams that we played back in the day in the Southwestern Conference, those games matter because you see the other alumni and you make fun of each other and you roast them and you bash them.
And your
for-
coworkers,
your coworkers, everything. So that is what makes that solves the regular season mattering.
To put that in perspective, I think about every person I know, and I know exactly one other person in my life that's a fan of an ACC team. I know one Virginia fan. I don't know any. I don't know a single fan of any of the other schools in the ACC.
Yeah, and I want to just expand on this a bit. Like when I think about why I care about our conference games, it's because if we do well in those games, then that gets us to the conference championship and to the playoffs. When I think about playing the teams you mentioned that were old Southwest Conference teams, I would care about us playing those. I would care about those games because we are playing those teams.
And you want
That's
to beat
why I
them.
would
not
rather
because,
kept-
not because of the outcome
Right.
of winning.
That's why I would have
Yeah.
rather kept Baylor last year than got rid of literally any other game on our schedule,
Yep.
including.
I mean,
Notre
I
Dame.
agree. I 100% agree. Yeah.
If our goal for college football to make the sport the best sport possible is to have a great regular season and have a great postseason, not necessarily college football playoffs, but a great postseason, this is what we have to do. We have to bring back the regionality because that brings back all the rivalries and it solves our regular season actually mattering where we actually care about every game. Then we keep our conference championships. And I think there are 8 conferences or so.
There's 10.
Back in the day, back when there was Southwest.
Oh, back in the day. Right now.
No,
there's
I'm
10.
saying I know there's 10. No offense to the group of 5, screw the group of 5. So we go back to the regional conferences with the Pac. Well, I don't know if the Pac-12 was around back then. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is we go back to the original conferences where everyone is in their group of regions of maybe 10 teams per conference. And those teams, if you want to have a playoff, those teams get the automatic bids. There is no second place team that gets to go to the playoffs. The first team from the SEC, the first team from the Southwestern Conference, the first team from the so on and so forth, all the way through gets to go to the playoffs. And that's it. There are no group of 5 teams. The conference champions should get to go. Everyone else gets to go to a bowl game because the season matters, the bowl games matter, and
All
if you
of
want
the
the
teams?
playoff,
All the teams with 6
the teams
wins.
that are 6
6
with
wins.
6
Yeah,
wins.
okay,
No,
yeah.
we're keeping the structure of
yeah.
they get to go to the bowl games. That is what makes everything good from the start of the season to the middle of the season to the end of the season. That is what would make college football a beautiful sport again.
Would you keep the New Year's 6 games in the playoff? I actually would do that.
I would.
Just because I do think those games are extra special, and I do like them in the playoff.
The New Year's 6 games have always been, I mean, when you're talking about like stuff like the Cotton Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and whatnot, there's so much history of them being.
It would simply feel wrong if you did not have the best teams in the country in the New Year's 6.
Which is why
That's why I want them in the playoff.
You would have those bowl games be the conference champions playing in that playoff. They would be playing those bowl games, so to speak. They would be those bowl games. But everyone else, you go to regular bowl games. No team, I fully agree with George on this. There are realistically only about 8 teams that can win a title each year. And even if there was a 9th team that could, in theory, win, if you didn't win your conference, you don't get to be there. I'm sorry, you didn't win your conference. You didn't beat your rivals. So that's it. Now you have to go look at a bowl game, which is great. You can still have a great postseason, but that's what you get.
Here's the thing: if college football turns back into that with the whole conference structure you're talking about,
Regional conferences?
I'm 100% down with that.
Yeah.
So that is the best ideal. We agree.
But the thing is
yeah.
the rest of us were talking. Well, maybe not George, but us 3, we're talking about like how can we make playoffs perfect in the current system that we have.
That's not what the question was. The
No,
question
I'm not
was-
saying you're wrong. It's just a different way of looking at it. And I think the interesting thing is like your vision of how college football should be run. I don't think it's complete fantasy because
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but there's a chance that college football becomes a mega conference.
Yeah, one super
And
conference where you just have
and that
regions
super
again.
conference has regions. Yeah, it's not that far fetched.
I don't like the titular name of having a super conference with regions, though.
That's just college football.
But that's the only way that we'll get to that point. Like that's the only path in my
Yeah,
opinion.
maybe that is the only path that we get to that point, and I would be willing to.
It's like a mosquito.
that?
You just put enough blood into it and it'll pop, and then you.
Yeah,
Yonnic, you said 10 conferences with 10 teams, right?
I threw that
8?
number out there. I only want 8.
8's a better number.
Okay,
for the
so
playoffs.
what are you
10.
getting? Like, are you getting rid of 50 teams from D1, like
Of 8. What do you mean?
FBS?
8. What do you mean?
Because there's 130 some odd teams.
Yonnic said
They
he
can all
hates the
be-
group of 5.
They can all be FBS. They can be FBS if they want to, but they're part of a sub-conference where they're basically playing, what is it, the NIT?
Yeah.
So are you
They're basically that. They
Make
no.
like an NIT.
you
yeah,
want like
they
a
are
promotion
just-
and
that would just
relegation.
trade a Division 1.5 is what that would
Yeah,
do.
it's exactly. So let's be real. In what world, if we had 1,000 simulations for the next 1,000 years where any of these group of 5 teams played, will any of those simulations, and we did 1,000 simulations each year, would any of those simulations ever have a champion? No.
Another interesting idea to solve that problem that just came to me is promotion and relegation.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I don't love it.
I don't
football.
either, but it does.
I don't
solve
like
a lot.
It does solve that.
I don't
problem.
like relegation and promotion because
It makes every game matter, though.
I don't.
It does.
Also, the
No,
problem.
no. Hang on.
It does.
Regionality, by playing your rivals, make the games matter. They already matter if you do that.
Well, you could still do
we
that
don't
within a
because
region,
if you
though.
are relegating Baylor because Dave Aranda is stuck there and he can't turn around his program, and you're relegating them, suddenly we're not playing rivals anymore.
Well,
so you ruin the rivalries.
Yes, I
Don't
agree.
do it.
That
it's not college football. We're not soccer.
that was just something that popped in my head. I think there's pros and cons to that idea. It's just
the cons outweigh it.
I do like your idea for regionality. Like now,
Yeah,
I'm
for
maybe
sure.
on the four areas, like the college basketball tournament, where it's like you're only eligible to play. Like these teams are only eligible to make it in this 16 team like bracket. So like Texas and in Arkansas and Missouri and Oklahoma, like all these schools can only make it into the southwest portion of the bracket, and Oregon and
If you're gonna, this is not the ideal. If you're going to make it 16 teams, you can make it the leader and the runner-up. If you want to do that, I'm saying that's not ideal. But I'm saying if you're making me compromise on something, you still do the regionality and you just make it the top 2 then.
Yeah.
And then the first and the second seed get to go. That's a fine compromise if that's what I'm having to do. But the regular season already matters. We don't need to change it if we just play our rivals. And the postseason, it should matter to where you need to win your conference or at least be in the conference championship game to get a say.
I think there are just so many things that would have to change for that to happen that it just seems a little unrealistic to me. I like.
We didn't ask if it was realistic. We just asked ideal.
I like the result you're coming to. I just.
I think
see
it's
it
like
happening.
if it is to happen, it's 20, 30 years away.
all right.
Yeah, they would never go back to 4 because the reason we're going to 24 is because the big conferences
We don't need to go back.
want more of their teams in the playoffs. So
Well, okay, that's the service. The real reason there's the push for 24 right now, it's not the conferences against each other, it's the networks against each other.
Yes.
If the playoff goes above 14 teams, then ESPN no longer has exclusive rights to all of them, and they need to renegotiate. So Fox and thus the Big Ten are pushing for 24.
Oh, interesting.
That's why the SEC is the last holdout to go above where we are now, or beyond 16, because the ESPN still get most of the 16. Because the SEC is in ESPN's pocket, just the same way the Big Ten's in Fox's. So
Yeah.
you're right, that is the current. But don't get it twisted. This is a battle of networks. This is not a battle of conferences.
Yep.
Okay, I think it's my turn.
Go for it.
I heard you got a doozy for us.
Come on,
Well,
back me up.
after Jay went,
Yeah, it's
I should
hard
have gone
to-
before Jay.
it's hard to.
Well, I never could have guessed Jay was going to drop 64.
No, that
I
was
thought Jay was going to
shocking.
drop 16.
That was
Crazy.
shocking. Yeah, so I kind of look after hearing Jay's. I kind of look at mine as a more moderate version, but still like playoff expansion.
What is important to you? I guess we'll start.
Yeah.
with that.
Okay. What's important to me? Obviously, like the history of college football, just the rivalries. I personally don't care about bowl games, but I want to. So I need to fit bowl games in there to make me care about it. And I also, unlike Jay, I care about conference championships. I agree with pretty much everything else, though. I want to do a 32-team playoff, but to preserve conference championships, and also I don't want the national championship game to be any later than it already is, because I already feel like it's late. Only one bye for the regular season. Basically, I want to shift everything up by a week, make week 0 like a full week of college football.
I think we should do that anyways, but
Yeah.
that's
I agree.
kind of a separate
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
Make week 0 a full week of college football. Most teams will only get one bye. And then basically push everything up so the conference championships will be on Thanksgiving weekend. And then you just kind of roll out from there with the extra.
I don't necessarily love that point.
It's not
to
the
me,
best.
college football is part of Thanksgiving weekend, and I think every team should be playing that weekend.
Yeah, I
That's
get what
not a
you're
hill
saying.
I die on, but that's something I.
No, I get that. I get
feel
that.
reasonably strongly about.
And then let me look through my notes here. Oh, also, I want every conference champion to be in the playoffs. So all 10 conferences.
Yeah, if we
Gross.
get above, honestly, if we get to 24, I think that should be.
I think that can work.
32 teams,
I think
all
automatic
10
qualifiers
conferences.
like that will work with at least 32 teams.
Yeah,
I
32
agree.
teams, all 10 conferences get their conference champion in. Just to make sure there's no weird seeding, every conference champion has to be seeded above everyone else in their conference that gets into the playoffs.
I really like that rule too.
But
That not the case.
I don't. Well, the committee can just do whatever they want. So
Well, Miami ended
because-
up being ranked above Duke,
yeah, exactly.
which, but that, I mean,
But they
that
removed the
made
rule
sense.
for this year.
That made
Duke wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
But under the old rules, Miami would have been behind Duke.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I preserve the Army Navy like off week game.
Yeah, any proposal that gets rid of Army Navy is not a proposal worth listening to. So that's good.
I gotta be honest,
and also
I don't care
like
about
Jay,
that game.
I can't believe I skipped this point. All of the playoff games are bowl games, so we have to drop a few bowl games, just like Jay did. But it's pretty much the same thing. No,
Jay would have had to add bowl games.
no.
So
No,
you'd
I
rather have
dropped two.
all bowl games for 32 than
Yeah,
have
no
some home games?
Yeah, no home games.
Okay.
So
I-
all
I-
31
No on
games.
campus home games.
I hate that.
I don't really like.
hate it.
I don't really like the on campus playoff game, which is probably a controversial
I
opinion.
kind of agree. I don't know. In a way, the on campus home games kind of almost make it feel like it's a bigger deal. Than
Yeah, and
the
I
national
want-
championship. Sometimes like I don't.
Like-
On-campus games should be for the
It-
regional games.
playoff games should
regular
be neutral to some degree. And I just don't really like the home game for a playoff game. I mean, it annoys me that the conference championship game is so close to Clemson, and it's basically just a Clemson home game. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, obviously, like, you're going to have bowl games that are nearby the teams playing in them.
Right, and that's
or
the
one of the teams
advantage
playing
of
them.
being the one seed.
Yeah, and you get to pick. I didn't write it down, but I really like Jay's idea of you getting to pick what bowl game you're in based on seeding.
I do like. I think that's a good rule, but that doesn't necessarily matter for formats. I think any format.
Yeah,
I think that's actually just a
I
decent
agree.
rule.
That should be the case for 12. I think it actually might be like that. That might be it. The way they do it is the one seed gets to pick. It's just not out in the open. Like
I wouldn't hate it
think
if they did that for even non-playoff affiliated bowl games, because right now,
Yeah.
the top bowl games outside of the ones in the playoffs, like they pick the teams first. Like Holiday Bowl, I think is pretty high on the list, and I think they picked Arizona and SMU. But I would almost rather see it the reverse. Like you rank
where
the
the teams
teams,
pick,
and then they get to
not
pick their
the-
bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think that it could add a layer of spice.
The
to it.
only thing I don't like about that is I think the teams that pick first would pick the close bowl, the bowl that like their fans can travel to.
Yeah.
And so every
but
bowl
that's
would
why
have,
seeding
every bowl
matters.
would have one team in it before
So why not just play on campus at that point?
I'm talking about just regular bowl games. If every team had one bowl in it before the second team started filling in, then you'd have a ton of lopsided bowl games. So that's the only downside to the way I just suggested. But that's kind of a tangent. Back to playoffs.
I have to add one thing about that. Not about the campus thing, but which I don't like. But for me, I cringe hard enough watching one group of 5 team in the playoff. You're talking about having 6 of them now with this, and I don't think anybody wants to see that. I don't want to see it. So
I
I
really
would want to see that in a 32 team bracket.
Yeah,
don't.
I really respect.
I don't want to see a 32
If
team
there's
bracket.
32
I really
teams
respect
in there,
conference
then screw
champions.
it. Let's put a Mac in there and see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's interesting.
we know what's gonna happen.
Okay, but anytime we get past 8, okay, well, we're all saying anywhere from 6 to 10 teams could win the national championship every year. Every time we go past that number, there's going to be teams in there that probably can't win the national championship.
I'm surprised I'm finding myself thinking this. I think I like Walker's suggestion of 32 more than what is being discussed in reality for 24.
All right.
Just because
Let's
the
go.
buys, and with 24, that's just a chance to get more Big Ten and
Yeah.
SEC teams in.
Is
If you go to 32,
Yeah.
those Big Ten SEC teams can kind of still get in, but also then we get the group of 5s.
How
all
are
the
you
conference
deciding your
champions.
at-large? BCS or selection committee?
I'm okay with the committee.
Everyone dunks on the committee, but in a lot of ways, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
No,
I say
think that I
forget
have
the
to-
committee. Just make
And you
it
also
8
kind of have to
conferences.
operate under the assumption that the committee is going to act in good faith, which I don't think always necessarily happens.
Right.
I think
but
it's
you
clearly
kind
they
of
don't.
have to think that
The
way.
whole Notre Dame Miami
Yeah.
situation last year was a clearly bad faith situation.
Honestly,
I agree.
it sucks to have the committee, and I think obviously like BCS, it's numbers, like you can't. But like people, people play. The thing with the BCS is kind of like the YouTube algorithm. If you figure out how you can exploit it, like you will.
But
and
you
then
exploit it by winning games.
I
and
would say
scoring
this though about
points.
the committee. I would like to see the committee have 0 athletic directors or people associated with the
yeah,
university.
I do agree with
honestly,
that.
I would much prefer if they just took every college game day guest from the season and just put them in a room. It's like, okay, decide the playoffs.
Got Timothy Chalamet and Snoop Dogg. Like,
I mean,
Tim
obviously
actually knew more
you
about
want,
football
you'd
than you'd
want,
expect.
yeah.
We're
He
really
was a
did,
huge
yeah.
sports fan, but that's probably. I guess I wouldn't really do that, but like, you'd want people that know their stuff and do the research. But like, having athletic directors make up the whole thing.
like
just
currently
not good.
employed athletic directors is crazy to me.
yeah. No, I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Like it could
Or
be
we
like,
could just
it could
have
be
8
retired.
conferences and they all just get automatic bids in, and 8 conferences of good teams.
I think
And then there's nobody's opinions or whatever, and you can't game
What
the
if
system.
Nick
You just
Saban
win your
decided
conference.
everything always? How about that?
I want to go back to something Yonnic said. I don't love the idea of going back to 4, but let's say for me, like if we did 16, I actually really like the idea of like let's say there's 4 power conferences, so top 4 from each automatically get in. But I do think there should be room for a group of 5. So let's say maybe like the worst conference is 3 or something like that. And then I wouldn't mind including several group of 5 teams in like a play-in format where, or maybe there's 2 of them and like they play to get
That
into
takes
the
too many
playoff
weeks.
or something. I wouldn't mind doing that. I'd prefer that to seeing like 5 or 6 of them actually playing the big boys because I don't think anybody wants to see that. But like 2 group of 5 teams playing for the chance to get in like could be a little bit more intriguing. Because the fact is, like, there's no way that there aren't going to be at least one group of 5 team in the playoff. And so
You know what?
I
And
prefer
everyone
that better.
It's Boise State. Like Boise State so incredibly deserved to be in the 12-team playoff in the first year in 2024. Like the group of 5 teams can be good.
Don't forget that a group of
Actually-
5 team made the 4-team playoff.
Right.
Guys,
happened?
so taking out like what actually is the perfect college football season and playoff that I described, if we're picking between like what could actually happen, I actually think Walker's idea of 32 teams actually is better, and this is why than the other options suggested. Because if you make it to where 10 conferences all get an automatic bid, you know what's going to happen? The SEC and the Big Ten are going to break up because teams are going to realize, wait, group of 5 teams are getting automatically qualified in. If I am Missouri, I'm going to go join the group of 5 conference, and I will get in
Those
every
group
year.
of 5 teams are never going to get in that large bid.
Yeah.
though.
You'll
No,
just
no,
have
that's-
the
but
SEC
that
1
won't-
and the SEC 2, East and West.
And
You
then it's
won't
going to
have-
split again.
But
and then it'll split again.
I don't think
And
that's
then we're going to have smaller conferences. So if you're going to, you know what? Make as many automatic bid wins for conferences.
See, we gotta
as possible,
shake some stuff
and we'll
up.
just break all these
I'm
super
looking-
conferences.
I-
up.
What's also really funny is I told my friend who went to Notre Dame about this idea, and he was pissed. He did
Yeah.
not like it.
Notre Dame is also like a huge hurdle to a lot of these. Like
It's
especially
not.
if
I don't
everyone has
care.
to go into a
I-
conference,
I don't care.
they will lose it.
I'm also looking. Walker's is out of all the ones they did. Walker's is probably the most similar to what FCS currently does. Automatic bids for conference champions, at-large selections, a seeded bracket.
Yeah.
FCS does do campus-hosted home games leading to a neutral site final, which is usually in Frisco.
Thank you.
I think it's in Nashville now, but
I think they move it around.
But the problem with the FCS tournament, like using it as a guide, is no one watches the FCS.
I didn't use it as a guide, by
That's
the way.
because it's
This
FCS.
came off the
That's
dome.
not necessarily because of the tournament format, though.
Well,
Facts.
I really molded
Anyways,
with
I
this
was
one.
just curious how similar it was, and it's reasonably similar. So
yeah, I think
this just makes me sad.
What?
Because no, this whole conversation just makes me sad because the actual perfect thing is not going to
I
happen.
thought it would make me more sad, but I'm actually not. I'm feeling all right.
No, I feel sad now.
I don't know.
I feel like it opens me up to 24 a little bit more. I still hate it. However, I absolutely despise 64. 64 is terrible.
64 is
I-
That's such
I
a
feel
bad
betrayed,
idea.
But
okay.
Sorry,
I'd
Jay.
be okay with 32 if we kept 12 regular season games. Like, okay,
I want
not-
week 0 to be more of a thing. I want it to be like a full
I agree.
week.
Like,
I
no
think
matter what,
regardless of
we should
playoffs,
make
I think
week 0, week 1.
I think that regular season is to start a week early because sometimes based on when Labor Day is, you get 2 bye weeks, which I think we had last year, and then this year we have 1 bye. I think teams should have 2 bye weeks, no matter what, no matter how long.
No. I want more football.
Exactly,
Fewer bye
two,
weeks.
two bye weeks gives more football.
Wait.
Because
Longer football, more weeks of
longer football. Yes.
Oh.
Just because that means The games you have
Games are
one
more
more week
spread
where there
out.
is college football on your TV screen in the regular season. So
Okay.
Well, that was interesting, guys.
Well,
I think that was good.
I think
I
That
enjoyed
was
our
a
that.
chat
comment
right
section.
there.
I'm excited to see
Yeah.
what the comment section say about this.
Send this to your friends.
Yeah.
We want to see as many opinions in the comments as possible.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things. Ultimately, like we care about all the same things, and there are several ways to make those things more important than they are right now. And so, yeah. I could see 8. I could see 64.
no. You're the only one.
You guys, y'all
Yeah.
don't see the vision.
No.
Yeah, so
You're correct.
I
We do
never
not.
will.
let's let us know what you think about ours in the chat. Who's based? Who's crazy? And
No need to point fingers,
and-
guys.
and yeah, give us your ideas.
Yeah. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Go to themustangmood.com, get some sweet merch. Football season's right around the corner. Got to be repping your Mustang Mood merch
That's right.
all the time. Who cares? No
Facts.
sports over the summer? Mustang Mood merch. Yeah. Most of all, who cares what the playoffs is? But pony up, man.
Pony up.
God bless.